Hey guys, how's it going? So today's video is from Jenny at Gardening with Creekside, and I've been excited to share this video with you. She and her husband Jerry have a garden center in North Carolina, and you know, that's my background as well. I grew up around my parents' garden center. I worked there for a lot of years, so it's always fun to get to know other people kind of in the industry who have done the same things, but they offer a different perspective because they're gardening in a completely different climate than I am. They deal with very high humidity, a longer growing season. It's quite a bit warmer there. But we do plant a lot of the same things, so it's interesting to see how theirs do versus how ours do and some of the different things that we might deal with. And we have received a lot of messages from those of you guys who live in the South in more warm and humid climates, so I feel like Jenny's a really good resource for those of you guys who want to learn a little bit more specific information to what you're dealing with in your own garden. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and thank you so much, Jenny, for sharing this whole project. I cannot wait to see it grow and fill in.
Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I am Jenny. Before we get started today, I just want to say thank you so much to Laura and Aaron for having us on your channel. It is definitely an honor and a privilege to be here, so thank you very much. Greetings from North Carolina. Yes, this is Gardening with Creekside. My husband Jerry and I own Creekside Nursery in Dallas, North Carolina. We are just west of Charlotte. We are a Zone 7B. And we are here at the nursery because we have this bank behind me, this garden spot that has proven to be quite tricky. We thought it would be a fun little video to do to highlight that yes, we are in North Carolina and we are blessed with a very long growing season. Here we are in the middle of November, getting into kind of late fall, and we are out here planting and landscaping. Really in North Carolina, we can landscape easily through all the way through December, mid-January. We take a little break off in January, late January, February, because for us that's kind of our coldest time period, so we take a break. So one, yes, we are still landscaping. Two, we do have that beautiful red clay soil that you see behind me, and at times it can be very challenging and problematic, but on other hands it can be a great blessing. So we're going to talk about that. And with this bank, it is just, you name the situation, we have it. It is in full blazing hot sun. The top of the bank is really dry and the soil can get quite crusty, shall we say. And then the further down that you move to this dry creek bed, it gets quite wet. We are blessed here at Creekside that we have lots of natural springs that just pop up everywhere. So we've had to really deal with those springs the entire time that we have been in business. And so that is why we have this creek bed below us, because we get irrigation water off of the creek, we get the springs, not the creek, we get irrigation water off of the nursery, and we get the springs coming out of the bank. So this dry creek bed kind of holds it in, but still right behind me at the bottom, it gets really, really wet. And then really kind of the most important part, in my opinion, is this space is really prominent here at the nursery. As soon as you come into our outdoor shopping area, you see this area. And we love creating gardens and spaces that are to inspire our customers. So when they come, they can say, oh my gosh, what is that plant? I want that. Or I really have, this is a great inspiration because I have a similar situation at my house that I have found it really hard to landscape, and you have helped me a lot. So that is the whole premise of what we are doing today. And we have got lots of gorgeous proven winners shrubs that we will be using. Some that are just the tried and true that everybody knows and loves, and then some brand new ones that are on the market. So without further ado, let's get started. Jerry is behind me putting out some pine bark fines. This is a great natural way, if you have clay soil, to really provide some aeration for your clay, because that is the downside of clay soil, is that it can get really compacted and your roots can just have a hard time getting out into the soil. So what we like to use a lot are those pine bark fines. You'll notice he's really just kind of focusing down here at the bottom of the bank, because that is where the main issue is as far as water retention. We're not worried about the rest of the bank, especially up there at the top, because all the water flows down. So it naturally drains. And yes, these are bog plants that we're putting down in here. So they go ahead and like to have wet feet. They do find that there. That's why we've chosen them. But it never hurts to have a little extra aeration in there. You just mix it in to your planting area and then just move on. I told you it was really wet up there when Jerry was digging the hole. This is a sweet little salamander. He didn't like being on camera, but here we have a sweet little salamander, so we will just relocate him to somewhere safe. But yeah, wet soil. I like to say it's not gardening till you get dirty. So we're definitely gardening now because red mud clay, it's fantastic, it's great. Anyway, you can see that Jerry got all of the holes dug because work smarter, not harder. We have the equipment, so might as well use it. It sure does save some time and lots of energy. You will notice when Jerry was auging some of those holes that we got some really big tree roots that came up. That is because before we began shooting this video, Jerry went ahead and had to kind of reshape this whole area. Before it was a perennial bed, had black-eyed Susans, different things in it, and it was really more of a steep curve. It was very not a nice gentle slope that it is now. So he really kind of reworked that whole area, and in doing so we brought in and disturbed some big tree roots. So we'll get those out. Now what we'll do is just go in and go ahead, put some starter fertilizer in each of the holes. That way it gives the roots a great start and gets them really well established before the heat of the summer hits. And yeah, so we've got a lot of plants in there, a lot of shrubs. We'll go ahead and get them in there. We do not amend our holes with compost. We just simply use our native soil. If you're not used to red clay, you may think, oh my word, how in the world do you work with that? It actually does really well because not only does it hold water, but it also holds the nutrients really well. So we don't have to worry about leaching, you know, the vitamins and minerals and all that great fertilizer. Get these guys in the ground and then we'll go from there. I don't know about y'all, but this time change is killing this gardener. We ran out of daylight last night when we were putting out the mulch. So we came back this morning to do a little recap, show you the finished product, and to just go over and do a great general overview of the plants we used. They are all in the ground, they are happy, and we have got a nice blanket of some hardwood mulch out here. Yesterday, as the sun was going down very quickly, we had to call in some reinforcements to get them out here to help us. We do have 3 kiddos here at the nursery. It is a family business for sure, so they are used to getting phone calls and saying, hey, come over to the nursery real quick and come help us. So they were a great help, especially the oldest one, putting out all of the mulch. Remember, this space is a really prominent bed here at the nursery. So we want to give our customers, one, something really pretty to look at and show them how they can landscape a problem area to give them 4 seasons of interest. You will also notice that some of these plants are going to be evergreen, some of them are going to be deciduous, some of them are already dormant and have completely lost all of their leaves and they are just sticks. That's okay, it does not bother me, especially here in the South. There are plants that you do not want to plant when they are in full bloom because that is in the heat of the summer. And if I were to go ahead, like my hibiscus and the hydrangeas and things, if I go ahead and put them in the ground when they're in full bloom, they're really going to kind of suffer because it's so hot and humid. That is what we deal with here in North Carolina, the heat and the humidity. Even at night, it never gets cool during the summer. I mean, we can easily have nights, consecutive nights in the 80s, in the upper 80s. So we deal with that. All of these plants will do really well here. So let's just walk through and talk about what we have. Now, at the bottom of the bank, we've talked about this earlier, that it stays really wet. So we picked 2 plants that are bog-loving plants. They love all of that water. And they alternate. So we have 4 of the Scentlandia Sweet Spire. Those are the ones that still have that beautiful, nice, deep, dark color on them. Sweet Spires, of course, are a native plant. They do these beautiful white blooms in the late spring, early summer that just smell amazing. That is the big push, the big benefit of Scentlandia, hence its name, of the wonderful sweet smell. So we have those, and of course they will have beautiful fall foliage. And then there are 3 little clumps of sticks that you probably can't even really see right now. That is Sugar Shack Buttonbush. Again, it is another native plant for us here. It does beautiful, sweet little white balls as its bloom. It'll get to be about 4 feet tall and just kind of fill in that area. Gorgeous foliage, those nice little white balls. Then in the fall, those little white balls will turn red. So you have a great fall interest on that also. That is at the bottom. Let's work from this way, going that way. On the very end, you will see there is a hydrangea. That is brand new from Proven Winners. There are some out there on the market already, but that is Limelight Prime. Limelight Prime is a great hydrangea. We love the whole Limelight series here at Creekside. They do fantastic in our North Carolina climate. Of course, you have Limelight, which is the big daddy. Then you have Little Lime, which is kind of the baby. And then we're going to introduce Limelight Prime, which is like the teenage son, right? So it is right there in the middle as far as size-wise, around that 4 to 6 foot mark. So people who, don't have the room for a Limelight but want something a little bit bigger than a Little Lime, then the Limelight Prime will be great. Also, Limelight Prime is going to bloom a bit earlier than the Limelight and Little Limes. So for you folks in the colder environments, this is a really good thing because you can get your blooms faster and have them for a longer period during the season. For us here in the South, we just get them earlier. So that's fantastic. And then the Prime will also put on a lot more intense color. Of course, they'll start that creamy white, kind of age to a little bit of a lime green, and then they get that intense pink red color. Love those. So I thought that would be fun to stick there on the end. Then we have 2 different sections here, little swoops of 3 in each section. This is the Bloomathon Hot Pink Azalea. Azaleas are synonymous with the South. It is, you know, it is springtime. You know, Easter is getting close when the azaleas start to bloom. These Bloomathon hot pinks will be the same. Nice, hot, rich pink color. They're going to be around that 4-foot mark. And what's great about the Bloomathons is they bloom in the spring, they'll take a little break, and then they bloom again in the summer throughout the fall. So you can easily get 20+ weeks of blooms on these azaleas. That will be a massive, big impact eye catcher when you're coming into the nursery and you see those. You will notice that there are about 5 different clumps of taller sticks. And those little sticks are in the center of those Bloomathon azaleas. That is a brand new hibiscus, Summerific Hibiscus Spinderella. We have a great relationship with Proven Winners. We work with them very closely. We are a certified garden center with Proven Winners, and we are blessed that they send us plants early so that we can trial them here, and we can then show our customers and really talk to our customers about that. Spinderella is a really fun new hibiscus. It is going to be a white with pink swirls. Gorgeous. It bloomed for us last year, well, actually this year rather, this past summer. Just a beautiful color. We again love those Summerific hibiscus because they give you weeks and weeks of color. They are going to be some of the last plants to emerge because they like it really hot, which will do great on this bank because it gets full sun. Those sticks, I can go ahead and cut them back. I have had Summerifics for a long time. In the south, of course, we're not dealing with a lot of snow, but if I can cut them back if those sticks bother you. For those of you in colder climates that deal with a lot of snow, you probably want to leave them up and then don't cut them until the very end of winter. It just helps kind of protect the plants a little bit. So we've got 5 Spinderellas in there. On that very far back corner, there's one on each side of the beds, is Pearl Glam Beautyberry. Love, love, love this plant. It's going to give me some height on both corners of the bed. That's why we put it in the back. The Pearl Glams, of course, they're going to be deciduous, so they're going to lose their leaves. But in the springtime, they come out with these great gorgeous, you know, leaves, and then they do these little tiny white blooms all over them that the pollinators just go absolutely nuts over. So if you're looking to attract a pollinator into your garden, then I really recommend Pearl Glam Beautyberry. It is a native bush, and then once those blooms start to go away, then the berries will start to form. And it does bloom on new growth, so if you need to trim it, you can, but you'll notice as it blooms, it'll bloom up the stalk, and then the berries start up the stalk. In the fall, they just have that gorgeous, rich, vibrant purple color. You can see that the foliage itself is also gorgeous fall colors. Love this plant, and as a little extra added benefit, they also are a natural mosquito repellent. So there you go. If you're looking for a native plant, gorgeous color, repels mosquitoes, can't go wrong with Pearl Glam Beautyberry. Then, right beside of the Pearl Glam is a Forsythia. This is Show Off. Show Off is going to be my highest. The two, again, we have the Pearl Glams are going to be tall. Then you have Show Off, which is going to be a little bit taller than the Pearl Glams. Forsythias, again, in the south, I mean, it is, you know, spring is here when you see, we call them yellow bells, when those gorgeous yellow flowers emerge, and Show Off is going to have really intense, just loaded with blooms, hence the name of Show Off. Fantastic plant, love that. And then throughout the top, I have 5 Petalums. Now, Petalums, maybe if you're in a colder climate and you're not familiar with Petalums are a fantastic shrub. They are evergreen. This is a really fun twist because this is Jazz Hands Night Moves. So it has green with some burgundy leaves in it with little white speckles, because traditionally Petalums are a deep, rich burgundy color. So to have a green with white is really unique and different. They're going to be about that 4 foot tall, and traditional Petalums always do hot pink blooms. Night Moves is going to do little white blooms. White blooms. Petalums are also called Chinese fringe flowers because the flower looks like it's just been shredded and it's very fringy. So you will notice that the blooms are that white fringe flower look. They're going to be great because, again, they provide me lots of evergreen. They tend to have kind of a wild and wispy look to them. This is not a plant that you're going to prune into a neat little tight ball like you could like a boxwood. So we're just going to let them go, get them wild and wispy, extremely, once they are established, extremely drought tolerant. It is really hard to kill a loropetalum. If you're in the South and you've ever had loropetalums, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So they are just a surefire winner for us here in the South. Moving on, dead center of the bed is a brand new viburnum from Proven Winners. This is Sweet Talker. Now, Sweet Talker is going to end up being the center of this bed. She is going to be the show off. It is an evergreen viburnum. It can easily get at mature size like 8 to 10 feet tall. So a really big, impressive plant. It's going to be taller than it is wide. This viburnum is going to be really neat because in late winter, early spring, it is going to just be loaded with these pink trumpet-like blooms that have this really kind of a spicy honey scent to them. This will be kind of the announcement that spring is coming, winter is over. Really excited about this viburnum. It's brand new from Proven Winners. So it is going to be a great centerpiece, showpiece for this bed. And then we just repeat the same plants all the way through, and then finally on my far left corner of this bed is another new hydrangea from Proven Winners. This is Quickfire Fab. She's going to be my biggest hydrangea in this bed. She is going to bloom earlier, so she is one of the earliest blooming panicle hydrangeas. Everything that we know and love about Quickfire, but a little bit more intensified and a little bit better. So she's going to bloom earlier. She's still going to be a nice big size, so that's why I stuck her on the end to kind of anchor that bed. And then she's just going to have more intense color. As the season progresses, she will just really put on those bright, bold colors and really be a showstopper for that section of the bed. So again, throughout this whole bed right now, of course, all the plants are just in their smallest size because they are shrubs. Of course, every year as we go through, every season, they just get bigger and bigger. Now, come this spring, I might go ahead and come in here if I find that there's little holes or little areas that need a little shoring up. This would be a great place to put some petunias, some super petunias. Of course, we are massive fans of the Vista series of petunias, so they would do great here. I might come through and end up putting some perennials in here, whether it's some baptisia or some daylilies, different things, Amsonia. All of those would be great additions to this bed. So this project is still ongoing. It is not finished. You can see that we're still got some work to do clearing up behind the woods. We're going to continue this whole bed on down around and just really shore up. The season is early. We've still got a lot of work to do, but we are excited about this. It's one thing that we have checked off the list. I hope this has been kind of informative for those of you maybe that are not from the South and are not used to some of the plants that we can grow or how we landscape here or our beautiful red clay soil. Again, thank you so much to Laura and Aaron for having us on your channel. We appreciate it. Y'all have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.